guys, how's it going? Night Owl here. Welcome back to my Hoot Crew. I'm sorry that it's taken me so long to repost another video and to get the winners of the Christmas trivia from last week out. But I had an aunt pass away on the 7th, and we had a celebration of life for her, and so it's kind of been off and on for the past week or so. So anyways, I hope you can forgive me. So let's get into the video of boundaries. Yay! All right, so we have been reading through this book called Boundaries. And if you haven't gotten this book yet, it's by Dr. Henry Cloud and Dr. John Townsend. You can get it at your local Christian bookstore, or you can have them ordered in for you, or I'm pretty sure if you search it, you can find it online. It is Christian based. However, we all know that whether Christian or not, we all need boundaries. So we will get into this. Okay, so where we left off last time was we were talking about boundary problems and stuff like that, and we did compliance, which are people who just kind of go with the flow and go say yes to everything, or what if everybody else is saying no, they say no. They don't use their own judgment sometimes, and they don't say no and go, okay, well, this isn't right, I shouldn't be doing it, or maybe that would have been the right thing to do, but they just kind of went with flow. But today we're going to be talking about avoidance. So saying no to the good. So this is where we're going to start today. And it says, the living room suddenly became very quiet. The Bible study group that had been meeting at Craig's house for 6 months had suddenly become more intimate. Tonight, the 5 couples began to share real struggles in their lives. Not just the usual. So please pray for Aunt Sarah. Requests. Tears were shed and genuine support, not just well-meaning advice, was offered. Everyone except the hostess, Rachel Henderson, had taken a turn talking. Rachel had been the driving force behind the information in the Bible study. She and her husband, Joe, had developed the format, invited the other couples, and opened up their home to the study. Caught up in her leadership role, however, Rachel never opened up about her struggles. She'd shield away from such opportunities, preferring instead to help draw out others. Tonight, the others waited. Rachel cleared her throat. Looking around the room, she finally spoke. After hearing all the other problems in the room, I think the Lord is speaking to me. He seems to be saying that my issues are nothing compared to what you all deal with. I would be selfish to take up time with the little struggles I face, so who'd like dessert? No one spoke, but disappointment was evident on each face. Rachel had again avoided an opportunity for others to love her as they had been loved by her. This boundary problem is called avoidance. And we all avoid confrontation. We avoid telling the truth. We avoid telling people how we really feel about them. We can hold grudges sometimes, stuff like that. Saying no to the good. It's the inability to ask for help, to recognize one's own needs, and to let others in. Avoidants withdraw when they are in need. They do not ask for the support of others. Sometimes an avoidance, because I avoid sometimes, we think that when people are giving things to us and they're being kind and stuff, are like, we don't deserve it. Someone else needs it more than us, or someone else needs love more than us, or they need to hear this more than us, or someone needs to be able to listen to us more than, So why is avoidance a boundary problem? At the heart of the struggle is a confusion of boundaries as walls. Boundaries are supposed to be able to breathe, to be like fences with a gate that can let the good in and the bad out. Individuals with walls for boundaries can let in neither good nor bad. No one touches them. So God designed our personal boundaries to have gates. We should have the freedom to enjoy safe relationships and avoid destructive ones. God even allows us the freedom to let him in or close him off. Here I am, I stand at the door and knock. If anyone hears my voice and opens the door, I will come in and eat with that person, and they with me. And that's in Revelations chapter 3, verse 20. God has no interest in violating our boundaries so that he can relate to us. Now, he's made us in his image. So the fact that he can relate to us kind of throws us sometimes. Like, how can you relate to me? I'm here and doing this, and you're just all powerful. You can do anything. But God feels sadness. He has mercy. He has grace. He has kindness. He has love. He feels anger, just like we do. So he understands that this would cause injuries of trust. It is our responsibility to open up to him and in need and repentance. Yet for avoidance, opening up to both God and people is almost impossible. The impermeable boundaries of avoidance cause a rigidity towards their God-given needs. They experience their problems and legitimate wants as something bad, destructive, or shameful. Some people, like Marty, are both compliance and avoidance. In a recent session, Marty laughed ruefully at herself. I'm beginning to see a pattern here. When someone needs 4 hours with me, I can't say no. When I need someone for 10 minutes, I can't ask for it. Isn't there a microchip in my head that I can replace? Marty's dilemma is shared by many adults. She says yes to the bad, which is compliant, and says no to the good, which is an avoidant. So individuals who have both boundary conflicts not only cannot refuse evil, but they are unable to receive the support they so readily offer to others. They are stuck in a cycle of feeling drained, but with nothing to replace the lost energy. Compliant avoidants suffer from what is called reversed boundaries. They have no boundaries where they need them, and they have boundaries where they shouldn't have them. Now, I'm going to read some questions. I'm going to leave it at that because there is definitely next week a tough one for a lot of people. So I'm going to go into the workbook. And yes, there is a workbook that you can get for this that'll work. You can work through. And I think where we left off last time here was we read the questions for the compliance. So I'm going to go into where it talks about the avoidance. So avoidance is an inability to ask for help, to recognize one's own needs, and to let others in. Avoidance withdrawal when they are in need. They do not ask for support of other people. Those who are like Rachel avoid opportunities for others to love them as they have loved others. Boundaries are supposed to be fences with gates that let in the good and the bad out. Boundaries are not supposed to be walls. So I'm going to give you some questions and some things to think about. So if you want to write these down, or if you want to pause it after each question and write them down, totally up to you. Are your boundaries more like fences or more like walls than fences? Explain why you answered as you did. So think about that. And there's a few questions here. So it says, God designed our personal boundaries to have gates. He even allows us the freedom to let him in or close him off. Revelations 3:20. When it comes to God, do your boundaries function like walls or like fences with gates? Support your answer with specific details from your life. Now, you don't have to tell me these things, but this is stuff for you to think about where you are in this and how God can help you or what you can ask God for. The impermeable boundaries of avoidance cause a rigid unacceptance of their God-given needs. Do you experience your problems and legitimate needs and wants as something bad, destructive, or shameful? Where do you think you learned that? And a lot of us learn that kind of behavior from our parents, from our friends, from grandparents, just environments, TV sometimes even. So it says, remember Marty? She said yes when someone needed 4 hours with her, but failing to ask for help when she needed it. Said no to the support from other people. Marty said yes to the bad, which is compliant, and no to the good, which is avoidant. Avoidants are especially compliant avoidants can feel drained. They are unable to receive the support they need to replace the energy they expend with their day-to-day day-to-day life. So here are a couple of questions for that part. Do you, like Marty, have reverse boundaries? Do you have boundaries where you should have them, but no boundaries where you need them? And the last question that's in here is be specific now. Where do you have boundaries where you don't need them? Where do you need boundaries but don't yet have them? So it's a lot to think about, I know. But, we all have these issues. And I'm doing this study right along with you guys. So if you have any questions, you can email me at thenightowl258@gmail.com. You could comment in the comments down below. You can contact me on Twitter or Instagram, which those are in the description below. So please, by all means, come and ask me questions. If I can't answer them, I'll ask someone I know that's a little bit wiser than me for help, and they can help me answer your questions. So anyways, I hope you all enjoyed this. I hope that you all have a wonderful day, and I hope that God richly blesses you in your daily life. God bless everybody. Have a great day. Bye.